go to heaven.
As a Muslim, if you reject the deity of Christ, if you reject his death on the cross for your sin, you will go to hell, Jesus said.
But doesn't in the same context of the Bible, does it say not to judge? Isn't that passing judgment? By saying that I'll go to hell because I'm Muslim, you essentially are judging me and taking on the role of God, who is the only one who can pass judgment, who is the only one who will deem who will enter his kingdom, correct?
Good question. Slavery is wrong. Am I being judgmental?
Slavery is wrong. Slavery is something that was done in the name with the justification of Christianity.
Okay, now please answer my question. When I say slavery is wrong, am I being judgmental?
No, that's common sense.
That's common sense. If I say the rape of a woman is wrong, is that me being judgmental?
No.
If I say the followers of David Koresh and Jimmy Jones made a big mistake, is that being judgmental?
No.
Okay. When Jesus says, judge not, lest ye be judged, he's not saying, suspend your critical thinking and accept everything as equally valid. Because 14 verses later in Matthew 7:15, Jesus says, beware of false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they're ferocious wolves. Now, Muhammad claimed to be a prophet of God. And when you read the Quran and take it seriously, obviously Muhammad contradicts Jesus. If I'm a follower of Christ, and I believe that Jesus is reliable, be it Muhammad, be it Joseph Smith, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I'm convinced those are false prophets. That's not me being self-righteously judgmental. It's a simple issue of truth. Christ made some truth claims. Muhammad made some truth claims. They contradict. My Muslim friends look me in the face and say, Cliff, you're going to hell. It's not being judgmental on their part. I've read the Quran. I know they're right. If Muhammad spoke the truth, I am going to hell. Because I'm an idolater. I worship Jesus.
In the sense of contradicting, I don't understand when you say that Muhammad contradicts.
Sure.
I don't understand.
You bet. Repeatedly in the Quran, Muhammad said, Jesus is not God. He's a good prophet.
Okay.
Repeatedly in the Gospels, Jesus claims to be God.
Where do you see that? I've read the Bible from front to back. I do believe that with people saying that, that's interpretational. I've never read where Jesus said, I am God. I've never seen that.
You're right. Jesus never says, I am G-O-D. Instead, in John 8:58, Jesus says, before Abraham was born, I am. The Jewish people who are listening pick up stones to stone him. Why? Because they understood. Yahweh, their name for God, I am who I am, Jesus applied it to himself. And they were going to stone him for blasphemy. And Jesus didn't say, time out, you misunderstood. Drop your stones. No, Jesus stood by his claim. Before Abraham was born, I am. Remember, after Jesus rose from the dead, he appeared to the apostles, except for Thomas. The other apostles came up to Thomas and said, we saw Jesus risen from the dead. Thomas said, I refuse to believe unless I can see Jesus with my own eyes. I refuse to believe unless I can take my hands and put them in the nail prints in his hands, take my hand and thrust it in the spear in his side. One night all the apostles were together, we read in the Gospel of John, including Thomas. Suddenly Jesus stood among them. Jesus walked right up to Thomas and said, my man, right here. Take your hands and put them in the nail prints in my hands. Take your hand and thrust it in the spear in my side. And Thomas stopped doubting and believed. Now Thomas's response, ma'am, is crucial. Thomas hits the floor and says, my Lord and my God. Now, Jesus' response is crucial. Jesus looks Thomas in the face and says, you believe because you've seen. Blessed are those who will believe, even though they have not seen. In other words, by accepting the worship of Thomas, Jesus is obviously claiming to be God.
I need your power.